Vasudevam Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Chapter 3, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's stay at the house of Advaita Acharya. Text 99 onwards. Nityananda Bale Krishnera Prasada Iha ke jhutya kaile tumi kaile aparadha. Nityananda Prabhu replied, these are the remnants of food left by Lord Krishna. If you take them to be ordinary remnants, you have committed an offense. In Brihad Vishnu Puran, it is stated that one who considers Mahaprasadam to be equal to ordinary rice and dal certainly commits a great offense. Ordinary edibles are touchable and untouchable. But there are no such dualistic considerations where prasadam is concerned. Prasadam is transcendental and there are no transformations or contaminations, just as there are no contaminations or transformations in the body of Lord Vishnu himself. Thus, even if one is a Brahman, he is certain to be attacked by leprosy and bereft of all family members if he makes such dualistic considerations. Such an offender goes to hell, never to return. This is the injunction of Brihad Vishnu Purana, one who makes distinctions that this is prasad, this is touchable, non-touchable, or this prasad is contaminated, that. And we are not supposed to do that. Shatek sannyasi yadi karaha bhojan tabe ei apradhai bekhandan. Srila Nityananda Prabhu continued, if you invite at least 100 sannyasis to your home and feed them sumptuously, your offense will be nullified. Acharya kehna kariba sannyasi nimantrana sannyasi na shila mor sab smriti dharam. Advaita Acharya replied, I shall never again invite another sannyasi, for it is a sannyasi who has spoiled all my Brahminical smriti regulations. So basically he is telling you, Nityananda Prabhu, you have spoiled all this. Ete bali dui jane karaila ajvan, uttam shayate laya karaila shayan. After this, Advaita Acharya made the lords wash their hands and mouths. He then took them to a nice bed and made them lie down to take rest. Lavanga ilaichi bija uttam rasavasa, tulasi manjari saha dila mukhavasa. Shiv Advaita Acharya fed the two lords cloves and cardamom mixed with tulsi flowers. Thus there was good fragrance within their mouths. Sugandhi chandane lipta kaila kalevar, Sugandhi pushpa malani, dila hirday upara. Shri Advaita Acharya then smeared the bodies of the lords with sandalwood pulp and then placed very fragrant flower garlands on their chests. Acharya karite chahe pad samvahan, sankuchita haya prabhu balena vachan. When the Lord lay down on the bed, Advaita Acharya waited to massage his legs. But the Lord was very hesitant and spoke as follows to Advaita Acharya. Bahut na chaile tumhi chhada na chana, Mukunda Haridas laya karaha hoja. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Advaita Acharya, you have made me dance in various ways. Now give up this practice. Go with Mukunda and Haridas and accept your lunch. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here telling Advaita Acharya that it is not befitting for a sannyasi to accept nice beds to lie on or to chew cloves and cardamom and have his body smeared with sandalwood pulp. Nor is it befitting for him to accept fragrant garlands and have his legs massaged by a pure Vaishnava. You have already you have already made me dance according to your vow, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Now please stop it. You can go and take your lunch with Mukunda and Haridas. Kabita Acharya Sange Laya Dui Jane Karila Ichae Bhojan Ye Ahe Achila Mane. Thereupon Advaita Acharya took prasadam with Mukunda and Haridas, and they all wholeheartedly ate as much as they desired. शांतिपुरेर लोक शुनि प्रभुर आगमन देखिते आइला लोका प्रभुर चरण. When the people of Shantipur heard that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying there, they all immediately came to see his lotus feet. Hari Hari Bale Loka Anandita Haya Chamatkar Paila Prabhur Saundarya Dekhiya. Being very pleased, all the people loudly began to shout the holy name of the Lord. Hari, Hari! Indeed, they became struck with wonder upon seeing the beauty of the Lord. See, before he took sannyas, they were not everybody was respecting him. Now, after sannyas, they all were respecting and appreciating his beauty and chanting the holy names. Goradeha Kanti Surya Jiniya Ujvala Aruna Vastra Kanti Tahe Kare Jhalmala. They saw Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's very fair complexioned body and its bright luster, which conquered the brilliance of the sun. Over and above this was the beauty of the saffron garments that glittered upon his body. ऐसे याहे लोक हर्षे नाही समाधान लोकेर संघटे dina haila avasan. People came and went with great pleasure. There was no calculating how many people assembled there before the day was over. Sandhyate Acharya Arambhila Sankirtan Acharya Nachen Prabhu Karena Darshan. As soon as it was evening, Advaita Acharya began the congregational chanting. He even began to dance himself, and the Lord saw the performance. Nityananda Gosai Bule Acharya Dhariya Haridas Pache Nache Harishita Haiya. When Advaita Acharya began to dance, Nityanand Prabhu began dancing behind him. Haridas Thakur, being very pleased, also began dancing behind him. Ki kahi bazre sakhi ajuka ananda ora chir dine madhava mandire mora. Advaita Acharya said, my dear friends, what shall I say? Today I have received the highest transcendental pleasure. After many, many days, Lord Krishna is in my house. This is a song composed by Vidyapati. Sometimes the word Madhav is misunderstood to refer to Madhvendra Puri. Advaita Acharya was a disciple of Madhvendra Puri, and consequently some people think that he was referring to Madhvendra Puri by using the word Madhav. But actually this is not the fact. This song was composed to commemorate the separation of Krishna from Radharani during Krishna's absence in Mathura. It is thought that this song was sung by Srimati Radharani when Krishna returned. It is technically called Mathura Viraha. So it's technically called Mathura Viraha. Okay. Ei pad gaoya harsha karen nartan Shveda kamba pula kashru Onkara garjan. Advaita Acharya led the Sankirtan party with great pleasure. He sang this verse. There was a manifestation of ecstatic perspiration, shivering, raised hairs, tears in the eyes, and sometimes thundering and bellowing. Firi firi kabu prabhu dhare na charane dhariya prabhu re bale na vachan. While dancing, Advaita Acharya would sometimes turn around and catch the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Advaita Acharya would then speak to him as follows. Anek din tumi more bedaile bhandiya Ghare te paya chi ebe rakiba bandhiya. Sri Advaita Acharya would say, many days you escaped me by bluffing. Now I have you in my home and I'll keep you bound up. Etabali Acharya Anande Karena Nartan Prahar Ek Ratri Acharya Kaila Sankirtan. So speaking, Advaita Acharya performed congregational chanting with great pleasure for 3 hours that night and danced all the time. Premero Utkantha Prabhur Nahi Krishna Sangha Veda Hebadila Prema Jwalara Taranga. When Advaita Acharya danced in that way, Lord Chaitanya felt ecstatic love for Krishna, and because of his separation, the waves and flames of love increased. See, this is what Sankirtan, chanting, was doing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vyakula haya Prabhu bhumi te padila, Gosai dekhiya Acharya nirtya sambarila. Being agitated by the ecstasy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suddenly fell to the ground. Seeing this, Advaita Acharya stopped dancing. Prabhura antara mukunda jane bhala mate, bhavera sadrisha pada lagi lagaite. When Mukunda saw the ecstasy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he understood the feelings of the Lord and began to sing many stanzas augmenting the force of the Lord's ecstasy. Acharya uthaila Prabhu ke karite nartan, pada shuni Prabhu ranga na jaye dharan. Advaita Acharya raised the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to help him dance, but the Lord, after hearing the stanzas sung by Mukunda, could not be held due to his bodily symptoms. Ashru kampa pulak sveda gada gada vachan, kshane uthe, kshane pade, kshane karodan. Tears fell from his eyes and his whole body trembled. His bodily hairs stood on end, he perspired heavily, and his words faltered. Sometimes he stood, and sometimes he fell, and sometimes he cried. Haha prana priya sakhi, kina haila more, kanu prema vishe more, tanu manajare. Mukunda sang, my dear intimate friend, what has not happened to me? Due to the effects of the poison of love for Krishna, my body and mind have been severely afflicted. When Mukunda saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling ecstatic prema and manifesting ecstatic bodily symptoms, all due to the feelings of separation from Krishna, he sang songs about Srimati Radharani's meeting with Krishna. Advaita Acharya also stopped dancing. Ratri dine pode man soya stina paaya. Yahan gele kanupan taha udiya. My feeling is like this. My mind burns day and night. I can get no rest. If there was some place I could go to meet Krishna, I would immediately fly there. Ei pad gaya mukund madhura susware, shuniya prabhur chittantare vidare. This stanza was sung by Mukunda in a very sweet voice, but as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this stanza, his mind went to pieces. Nirveda Vishad Harsha Chapalya Garva Danya Prabhura Sahita Yuddha Kare Bhava Sanya. The transcendental ecstatic symptoms of disappointment, moroseness, pleasure, restlessness, pride, and humility all began to fight like soldiers within the Lord. Harsha is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Harsha is experienced when one finally attains the desired goal of life and consequently becomes very glad, very happy. When Harsha is present, the body shivers and one's bodily hairs stand on end. There are perspiration, tears, and an outburst of passion and madness. The mouth becomes swollen, and one experiences inertia and illusion. When a person attains his desired object and feels very fortunate, the luster of his body increases. Because of his own qualities and feelings of greatness, he does not care for anyone else, and this is called garva or pride. In this condition, one utters prayers and does not reply to others' inquiries. Looking at one's own body, concealing one's desires, and not heeding the words of others are symptoms visible in the ecstasy of garva. But he was having all these ecstasies. Harsha is mentioned, but they are symptoms of disappointment, moroseness, and pleasure at the same time. Restlessness, and then pride and humility. Pride and humility, both. That is why he's a supreme Lord. All so-called contradictions are in him. That's why he is absolute, supreme absolute truth. जर जर हैल प्रभु भावेर प्रहारे भूमि ते पड़ीला श्वास नाहिक शरीर. The entire body of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to totter due to the onslaught of various ecstatic symptoms. As a result, he immediately fell to the ground and his breathing almost stopped. देखिया चिंतित हैला यत भक्त गान आचंबिते उठे प्रभु करिया गर्जन. Upon seeing the condition of the Lord, all the devotees became very anxious. Then suddenly the Lord got up and began to make thundering sounds. Bala bala bale nache anande vivala bujha na payaya bhava taranga prabala. Upon standing up, the Lord said, "Go on speaking, go on speaking." Thus he began to dance, overwhelmed with pleasure. No one could understand the strong waves of his ecstasy. नित्यानंद संग बोले प्रभु के धरिया आचार्य हरिदास बोले पाछे नाचिया. Lord Nityananda began to walk with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to see that he would not fall, and Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur followed them, dancing. Can we imagine the kirtan over there? Nityanand Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur, and Mukunda singing. Oh, यही मत प्रहारे क नाचे प्रभु रंगे कबू हर्ष कबू विषाद भावेर तरंगे. In this way, the Lord danced for at least 3 hours. Sometimes the symptoms of ecstasy were visible, including pleasure, moroseness, and many other waves of ecstatic emotional love. तीन दिन उपवास करिया भोजन उदंडा नृत्यते प्रभु हैला परिश्रम. The Lord had been fasting for 3 days, and after that period, he took eatables sumptuously. Thus, when he danced and jumped high, he became a little fatigued. Tabu tana jane shrama prema vishtahaya Nityananda Mahaprabhu ke rakila dhariya. Being fully absorbed in love of Godhead, he would not understand his fatigue. But Nityanand Prabhu, catching him, stopped his dancing. Acharya Gosai tabe rakhila kirtana nana seva kari Prabhu kecha karela shayana. Although the Lord was fatigued, Nityanand Prabhu kept him steady by holding him. At that time, Advaita Acharya suspended the chanting and by rendering various services to the Lord, made him lie down to take rest. Ei mata dashadina bhojana kirtana eka rupe kari kare prabhura sevan. For 10 continuous days, Advaita Acharya held feasting and chanting in the evening. He served the Lord in this way without any change. Prabhate Acharya Ratna Dulaya Chanaya Bhakta Gana Sange Aila Shachi Matalaya. In the morning, Chandrasekhar seated Shachimata in a palanquin and brought her from her house with many devotees. Nadiya Nagrera Loka Stri Balaka Vridha Sab Loka Aila Hela Sanghata Samriddha. In this way, all the people of the town of Nadia, including all women, boys, and old men, came there. Thus the crowd increased. Prata Kritya Kari Kare Nama Sankirtan Shachi Mata Laya Aila Advaita Bhava. In the morning, after regular duties were completed and the Lord was chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the people accompanied Shachimata to the house of Advaita Acharya. Shachi aage padila Prabhu dandavat haya, kandi tela gila Shachi kole uthaya. As soon as Mother Shachi appeared on the scene, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell before her like a stick. Mother Shachi began to cry, taking the Lord on her lap. दुहार दर्शन दुहे हैला विवाल केशन न देखिया शची हैला विकाल. Upon seeing each other, they both became overwhelmed. Seeing the Lord's head without hair, Mother Shachi became greatly agitated. Can you imagine Mother Shachi's mind, emotions at that time? अंग मुझे मुख चुमे करे निरीक्षण देखी ते न पाए अशु भरीला नयन. Out of love, she began to caress the body of the Lord. Sometimes she kissed his face and tried to observe him carefully, but because her eyes were filled with tears, she could not see. Kandiya kahena shachi bachareni mai Vishwarupa samana kariha nithurai. Understanding that Lord Chaitanya had accepted the renounced order of life, Shachimata, crying, said to the Lord, "My darling Nimai, do not be cruel like Vishwarupa, your elder brother. Sannyasi hayya puna nadila darshan, tumi taiche kaile mor haive maran." Mother Shachi continued, "After accepting the renounced order, Vishwarupa never again gave me audience. If you do like him, then will certainly be the death. That will certainly be the death of me." कांदिया बोलेन प्रभु सुन मोर आई तुम्हार शरीर ei मोर किछु नाई. The Lord replied, "My dear mother, please hear. This body belongs to you. I do not possess anything." Of course, Shloka says Kandiya Balena. He was crying. Mahaprabhu was crying and तोमार पालिता देहा जन्म तोम हाए थे कोटि जन्मे तोमार ऋण न पारिशोधित. This body was raised by you and it comes from you. I cannot repay this debt even in millions of births. जानी व न जानी कैला यद्यपि संन्यास तथापि तो मारे कबू नाही बे उदास. Knowingly or unknowingly, I have accepted this renounced order. Still, I shall never be indifferent to you. See what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying? Knowingly, unknowingly, I have accepted sannyas. I shall never be indifferent to you. But somehow these days, when somebody becomes a brahmachari, he thinks he has no relationship with parents, no family ties. This kind of um, fanatic preaching, it doesn't help. Actually, it hurts the movement. One got to be careful. Mahaprabhu, look at him. What is he saying? And we are supposed to be followers of Mahaprabhu. We cannot imitate him, true, but at least we should learn from his example. But somehow we become very, very staunch, very fanatic that no, that's it. I'm on my way back, and this birth only I'm going to attain everything. I don't need anybody else. But that's not the way we should act. Anyway, I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। अभी जो अभी ये डिस्कस कर रहे हैं ना, इसी के रिगार्डिंग अभी रिसेंटली आई सॉ यूट्यूब पे देयर वाज अ वीडियो, और उसमें द मदर वाज क्राइंग, क्राइंग लाइक, क्या बताऊं मैं, एंड दैट
I know.
बॉय वाज स्टैंडिंग ओवर देयर एंड वो बोल रही थी कि मेरा फोन भी नहीं उठाता है, मतलब forget about आना जाना एंड ऑल दैट, इज फोन भी नहीं उठाता है, ना कभी फोन करता है, एंड दैट वो प्रेमानंद महाराज जी वाज गिविंग हिम द एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस चैतन्य महाप्रभु का। सिंह कि देखो उन्होंने भी जब संन्यास लिया था, वो भी अपने मदर से मिले तो बोले कि मैं आपका ऋण नहीं उतार सकता मदर का, तो यू शुड नॉट डू दिस। मतलब उन्होंने भी एग्जैक्टली यही चैतन्य महाप्रभु का एग्जाम्पल दिया था। तो आजकल के यंग जनरेशन तो फॉरगेट अबाउट संन्यास प्रभु जी, घर में ही नहीं सुनने को तैयार होते जैसे कि आप कौन।
वो भी है, बट मैंने तो देखा है, मैंने खुद देखा है दिल्ली
आई नो
टेम्पल में।
आपको तो एक्सपीरियंस हुआ होगा अच्छे से।
या
अच्छा,
मैंने वो ब्रह्मचारी को बहुत डांटा था, बहुत डांटा था। तो कर क्या रहा है?
आई नो इट्स वेरी रॉन्ग।
बस फेनेटिक हो जाते हैं, गड़बड़ करते हैं।
बट कहीं ना कहीं इसमें उनको शिक्षा देने वाले गुरु भी तो रिस्पॉन्सिबल होंगे ना, जो उनको ये बोलते होंगे कि अब आपको उनसे कोई लेना देना नहीं है। अदरवाइज हाउ हाउ कम दे दे एंड अप टू दिस conclusion that we have taken a sannyas, now we have no nothing to do with our normal this society or parents or friends और ये वो
वो वही तो कह रहा हूँ ना, फेनेटिक प्रीचिंग जब हो जाती
है
है
ना,
तो
होती
गड़बड़
है ना।
होती है।
so जी, one of my relative is in Jaipur University. So
हम्म।
he think that two of the faculty member who were married, uh, ISKCON people came and they left, and they have no contact till date with their family, and
अरे
similar students
अरे
as
बाप
well.
रे।
So when I heard this, I thought this things never happen, but my relative was very angry. He told like they are my colleagues and their family are still searching for them.
yeah, yeah, actually, my engineering college batchmate called me about 2 3 years back, and he said he's in Hyderabad, so he was saying there's a friends of ours and their son has gone into ISKCON and he's not in contact with them, so you please find out. I was like, bhai, ISKCON is so big, how can I find out? Okay, at least tell me which temple he was visiting, who he was associating with, tell me some names. So he gave me some names. Then I found out who was the devotee leading him. And I called his mother temple and told them, this boy, better he at least contact his parents. That's it. They don't want him to be in any way in trouble. Just contact him. So next day he contacted his parents and he said, I'm here, I'm fine. And then he came back. He came home after a while. His parents said, we are not stopping you from doing bhakti, but just don't run away from here. But yes, it creates problems. Creates problems.
It gives the bad name also ISKCON का ना, इट्स लाइक पता नहीं क्या ही करते हैं वो लोग कि दरबार छुड़वा देते हैं।
Yeah, yeah. And then moreover, ISKCON movement is for preaching. And if somebody does this way, then negative preaching goes further. So many people stay away from ISKCON then instead of joining.
Yeah.
So ji, recently many of my friends were angry with ISKCON because uh, there are a lot of videos on YouTube. So they say that you disregard Lord Shiva. So their main concern was this only. They say
Yeah, वो भी
you
है.
are better and we are not better.
It's, again, our preaching is about transformation of hearts, not become fanatic. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we'll see when he goes to South India, he goes to Shiva temple, he goes to, I believe he goes to Durga temple also. So, where is the room for any fanaticism? Yes, we do our chanting of Hare Krishna, that's for sure. But respect everybody. So anyway, so we have to preach the right way. That's all. Chalo, we'll stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Jai Shri
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Thank